From topping the charts to sitting inside a federal detention cell, Lil Durk's life has flipped like a movie gone wrong. Once surrounded by luxury penthouses, private jets, and diamond-certified hits, the OTF boss now wakes up to cold metal bunks and concrete walls inside MDC Los Angeles, a far cry from the fame and fortune he once flaunted. Federal prosecutors claim Durk isn't just another rapper caught up in street beef. They paint him as the alleged mastermind behind a murder-for-hire scheme, a plot that could cost him everything. If convicted under the federal Rico indictment, he faces life in prison without parole, the ultimate price for fame tangled in violence. Born Durk Derek Banks, the rapper was taken into federal custody on October 24 following a sweeping takedown that stretched beyond local law enforcement. Authorities tied him to the August 2022 killing of Quando Rondo's cousin, calling it an organized act of retaliation. The charges, conspiracy, firearm possession, and racketeering, left little room for leniency. When Durk's team offered a $3 million bond, the judge denied it outright, labeling him a public threat and flight risk. By November, he was quietly relocated to MDC Los Angeles, a federal facility known for holding high-profile inmates and managing multi-state investigations. There, Durk found himself surrounded by familiar names: Kayvon Casey Grant, DeAndre Wilson, Keith Flacca Jones, and Asa Boogie Houston, all OTF associates turned co-defendants in the same case. Once their leader, Durk now faces the same unforgiving reality as the rest. Despite its cleaner reputation compared to state prisons, MDC LA is notorious for overcrowding, tension, and corruption. Guards have been caught smuggling in contraband, fueling a dangerous underground economy of drugs, phones, and violence. In such an environment, celebrity doesn't protect you, it isolates you. The same fame that once inspired loyalty now draws resentment, envy, and threats. Durk's tight-knit circle might offer comfort, but it's also risky. In federal lockup, friendship turns into leverage. Prosecutors use proximity to pressure defendants into turning on each other. With decades or life sentences on the line, cooperation becomes the ultimate bargaining chip. Here, loyalty and survival rarely coexist. The first few weeks behind bars were already turbulent. Durk was reportedly caught making unauthorized three-way calls, violating federal inmate rules. Prosecutors used it to block any chance at bail reconsideration. His punishment: increased isolation, restricted privileges, and heightened surveillance. Inside MDC, mental health resources are almost non-existent. Anxiety, paranoia, and sleepless nights are routine. A leaked November 15th phone call captured Durk trying to stay mentally strong, focusing on his children to maintain hope. But even for someone as resilient as him, the psychological toll of confinement is crushing. Even basic privileges, the rec yard, library, or classes, come with risk. A casual argument can spiral into chaos in seconds. Meanwhile, the legal case against Durk continues to expand. What began as a targeted homicide investigation has now morphed into a full-blown Rico case, branding OTF as a criminal organization and Durk as its alleged leader. According to the November 2024 federal indictment, Durk supposedly managed money, issued encrypted orders, and approved violent acts using coded messages and even lyrics. Prosecutors claim to have GPS records, surveillance videos, wire transfers, and informant testimony connecting him to over 24 coordinated moves. Each co-defendant is said to have played a specific role, from weapons handling to getaway coordination, painting a picture of a meticulously organized operation under Durk's command. Now, the man once known for turning his pain into platinum hits is fighting for his life inside a system designed to break even the strongest. The stage lights are gone, the crowds have vanished. All that remains is a battle for freedom, legacy, and redemption. Lil Durk, once hailed as the voice of Chicago's new generation, now stands at the crossroads of fame and federal judgment. The same talent that turned him into a global star may no longer be enough to save him from what could become the defining battle of his life. In this courtroom war, platinum plaques, sold-out shows, and street credibility hold no weight. Only evidence, testimony, and survival do. Federal prosecutors aren't stopping at Durk's freedom. They're going after his fortune and legacy. Their criminal forfeiture motion seeks to seize everything: the homes, the cars, the jewelry, even the royalties from his chart-topping hits. What took over a decade to build could vanish in a single verdict. Authorities trace the case back to the 2020 death of King Von, framing it as the spark that ignited a chain of retaliation, ultimately leading to the 2022 ambush on Quando Rondo's crew. Every lyric, message, and movement since then is now being weaponized against him. What Durk's fans celebrate as authentic storytelling is, in the eyes of prosecutors, evidence of orchestration. His rhymes, once praised for realism, are being dissected line by line as possible confessions and coded directives. The First Amendment offers little cover here. In federal court, art and admission can blur into one dangerous mix. Durk's pen, once his greatest gift, may now serve as the prosecution's sharpest blade. The trial, originally slated for January 2025, is now rescheduled for October 14, 2025, giving both sides time to dig deeper and prosecutors more leverage to flip defendants. The case will officially begin in early 2026, but the psychological war has already begun. In Rico trials, even a single defection can shatter the defense. Inside sources whisper that an OTF associate, known only as Jam, may already be cooperating. Once one of Durk's most trusted soldiers, his rumored shift has sent waves of paranoia through the inner circle. Though he denies any deal, trust inside OTF has never been thinner. Meanwhile, Durk remains locked inside MDC Los Angeles, his world reduced to silence and steel. His social media accounts have gone dark, his music releases frozen. While **free Durk** trends online, the noise of the internet fades against the cold precision of the federal system. Prosecutors portray Durk not as a victim of his environment, but as the mastermind of a criminal machine. They claim OTF's official operations, from company vehicles to tour funds, were dual-purpose, financing both music and mayhem. The same business accounts that paid for stage lighting and production allegedly funded weapons and travel linked to violent acts. It's a strategy reminiscent of cases against Young Thug, YSL, and YNW Melly, reigniting the debate over whether hip-hop is being unfairly criminalized or if rap culture has blurred too far into real-life crime. The evidence stack is massive: over 230 gigabytes of data, 20,000 documents, surveillance footage, financial ledgers, and recorded calls. Prosecutors claim Durk directed the 2022 hit remotely through encrypted channels and coded messages. The defense counters that access to OTF resources doesn't prove control, that others within the organization could have acted independently. In recent developments, co-defendant DeAndre D.D. Wilson requested a pre-plea sentencing report, a procedural move often interpreted as a crack in Durk's armor, proof that his team is beginning to splinter. The defense insists it's standard procedure, a sign of caution rather than guilt. Legal analysts suggest this moment could determine the case's direction, the difference between a united front and collapse. Investigators are also zeroing in on OTF's financial footprint, tracking payments, rental cars, travel logs, and studio expenses allegedly linked to the crime. Durk's lawyers argue OTF functions like any legitimate label, with multiple people authorized to move money. Holding him responsible for every dollar, they say, is like blaming a CEO for every employee's mistake. Outside the prison gates, a different narrative unfolds. Durk's transformation, embracing Islam, supporting community projects, and releasing reflective songs like All My Life, has shifted his public image from drill savant to a man seeking redemption. Supporters argue this evolution mirrors growth, not guilt, and could sway jurors toward empathy. Insiders even estimate his chances of acquittal between 60–80%, assuming prosecutors fail to prove his direct involvement. Still, the stakes remain brutal. A conviction would obliterate OTF, rebranding it as a criminal enterprise rather than a music movement. An acquittal, however, could rewrite Durk's legacy, transforming his story from a fall from grace into one of survival, resilience, and redemption against the odds. Shockwaves ripple across the music world, a stark reminder that even under the crushing weight of federal power, art refuses to be silenced. Behind the reinforced walls of MDC Los Angeles, Lil Durk remains a voice unbroken. Before his arrest, he had been pouring his soul into Deep Thoughts, a project insiders describe as his most revealing work yet. Originally slated for October 18, 2024, the album became a casualty of his legal storm, postponed first to November, then to March 2025, as courtroom chaos overtook creative momentum. Still, glimpses like Monitoring Me and Late Checkout have surfaced online, haunting reminders of what could have been. What was once meant to signal Durk's next chapter might now serve as either a farewell manifesto or a soundtrack to his survival. The buzz surrounding Deep Thoughts reached fever pitch in late 2024 when a supposed tracklist leaked, teasing collaborations with Kai Cenat, Morgan Wallen, and Sabrina Carpenter. The reaction was immediate. Fans clashed over Durk's apparent genre-bending direction. Some applauded his evolution. Others accused him of abandoning his drill roots. For an artist built on street credibility and authenticity, the backlash was fierce. Durk later clarified through a brief statement, tempering speculation, but uncertainty still loomed. Would Deep Thoughts ever actually drop? Hope flared again when whispers of a Drake feature titled Discontinuing Walk Hard began circulating. Behind the scenes, clips leaked online, but rumors quickly spread that Drake withdrew amid Durk's mounting legal troubles. Neither camp confirmed nor denied it, cementing the album's status as hip-hop's most mysterious unreleased project. After 3 official delays, Deep Thoughts has evolved from an album into a symbol of defiance, the voice of a man refusing to disappear despite everything arrayed against him. Throughout the chaos, one constant remains: India Royale. Her quiet presence has become an emotional anchor in Durk's story. From public breakups and cryptic Instagram posts to heartfelt reconciliations, their relationship has played out like an emotional subplot to his legal battle. When India appeared in court, silent, watching as Durk stood in shackles, her loyalty spoke louder than any headline. To some, it was devotion, to others, unfinished business. Either way, it reminded everyone that love, like loyalty, can endure even the darkest seasons. Their shared history hasn't been easy. After India hinted at infidelity in 2022, the couple split, only to be spotted co-parenting a year later. Now, her renewed involvement signals not just emotional support, but perhaps the hope of closure and redemption. As the trial looms, the stakes continue to climb. Federal prosecutors portray OTF as a criminal enterprise masked as a record label, analyzing every lyric, text, and transaction. One particular line, whose meaning is now dissected endlessly in court, has become a lightning rod in the case. The prosecution insists it's a cover-up. The defense calls it proof of Durk's distance from the crime. Meanwhile, Deep Thoughts remains trapped in limbo, its release as uncertain as its creator's fate. For fans, the project has become more than music. It represents resilience, faith, and the will to be heard, even when silenced. Insiders close to Durk describe the album as his rawest and most introspective body of work, tackling themes of fatherhood, betrayal, faith, paranoia, and endurance. Yet the ultimate irony is brutal. The album meant to expose the system's failures is now imprisoned by that very system. Still, Durk's cultural grip refuses to fade. His older records continue to climb charts, his past interviews resurface, and every courtroom update sends shockwaves through social media. What's happening is no longer just a trial, it's a reckoning at the intersection of art, justice, and freedom. Over the past decade, Lil Durk has evolved from a South Side storyteller into a global phenomenon, enduring loss, violence, and scrutiny while striving for growth. Now, his struggle transcends music. It's about redefining authenticity in a world where lyrics are used as evidence. The outcome of this case could forever reshape how courts view artistic expression and how artists choose to tell their truths. If Deep Thoughts drops before the verdict, it will stand as a declaration of resistance. If it comes after, it may become the anthem of a career interrupted, a man's voice echoing from confinement, determined to be heard. As the countdown to trial nears, every rumor, every leak, and every court date adds another layer to the tension. What began as an album title has become Durk's lived reality. Deep thoughts about loyalty, faith, justice, and redemption. The system may have him locked up, but his story still reverberates far beyond the bars.